Hello there, my lovelies. Welcome back to another season of Sitting Down with Soul Writer with me, Jenna O'Malley, your soul writer, author of sci-fi fantasy with dashes of romance and nerdy references. Today we're looking into my journey of surviving carpal tunnel and tendonitis as an author and full-time virtual teacher, specifically through dictation. We'll go through the ups, downs, pros, and cons, and everything in between about this journey, and the change it'll likely cause in my writing down the line. Please don't forget to check the like, sub, bell, and comment as you like. Above all, take care of yourself. I know you're worth it. Let's rock this. Welcome back, my lovelies. It's good to see you. As many of you know, I'm in the middle of a rebrand for my debut series. The new series name will be announced officially here soon. I keep going back and forth between a few choices. When typing books 1 through 3 to the series, I was consistently landing with a total end goal of 80,000 to 125,000 words for the first zero draft version of each. And since then, all 3 books are somewhere around 80,000 words, give or take on average, as far as a final published product. Since switching over to dictation for book 4, Bound by Hope and Spirit, I'm noticing that I'm being more consistent in relying on skills such as dialogue and showing versus telling in order to really convey the story, so I'm not overwriting as much as I was. As of today, I am indeed 2/3 of the way through finishing that book, as was my Camp Nano goal. I only took Camp Nano for July 2022 to be 2 weeks long in order to finish the revisions for Book 1, Bound by Fate and Blood, and finish drafting that Act 2 for Book 4, Bound by Hope and Spirit. Dictation really is what I relied on just because I've killed my wrists at my age. Yes, I'm only in my 30s, but I did very much have a confirmed diagnosis earlier this year of moderate to severe carpal tunnel and tendonitis in both of my wrists. So my pain levels can be pretty high some days. Yes, years of writing, teaching, gaming, and so on is what's kind of killed it. I was trained as part of my associate's degree to type roughly 100 words per minute with 98% accuracy, which many of you saw me pull off consistently in past writing sprints before I had to switch to dictation officially. I probably am getting myself in over my head with the dictation. It is allowing me to just spit out a lot of more ideas on other stories, as well as keep up with drafting this one book while revising another even. I don't know how I'm managing to do all this. I assume once I have Zoom meetings and synchronous classes starting up here in the next couple weeks, that won't be as likely and possible for me to get this high-end level of production out. Keep that in mind. Even though I have been working over the summer, it's been mostly asynchronous work, meaning that I can do work for a little bit, write for a little bit as a break from that, and just bounce back and forth between those projects. I am lucky that I have a brain that allows me to do that. Therefore, I'm outlining book 5 to this series, which is Bound by Lyric and Time. There are 2 other series I'm working on. Vitae Alangica's book 1 is progressing to be finished, and I have most of book 2 outlined. Therefore, I've started outlining, I finished outlining. I needed everything to do for August 80K and the Soul Writing Academy videos that are going to start coming out again this month. I am going to be writing Soul Writing Academy as I write as much as possible during August, mind you. I'm shooting for 80K. We'll see what happens. But for my anime space opera X Paranormal Romance series that's totally unrelated to the other 2 series I'm working on, the Arsinoëphorus Alliance and Vitae Alangica. So yes, I know it's nice to have that break. I wonder if I'm getting kind of in over my head, casting too many nets, too many outlines, too many ideas. So dictation is letting me hold on to more ideas as they come to me through discovery and inspiration, but I don't know if I'm going to have time to actually give every project the attention it needs in order to make it come full circle in a timely manner. That's going to be the issue there in the long run with that. I have been also using the actual dictation to help me do a zero draft for YouTube video scripts. I'm able to prelay what I want to say in a much more honest way. I feel like I'm being more raw with my emotions. That's carrying over into my character dialogue for sure. At the same time, it's causing so many issues. So let me just describe to everyone what I went ahead and did. I used mainly Microsoft Word's dictation feature. I do pay the yearly fee for Microsoft Office 365 because I have to have access to both Google Drive and Microsoft Office because of my job. Some of my students use Microsoft Office, some of my students use Google Drive, and I have to be able to bounce fluidly between the two without issue. Also, it's very nice that you can go into Google and they have that download as a insert Microsoft product here you need for a document or a spreadsheet or a PowerPoint. So you can easily kind of upload and download, and pretty much the majority of everything I'm using the dictation feature for between Microsoft Office and Google Docs or similar in those suites is going to carry over most of the time. Microsoft, of course, has the fees included, whether you decide to pay the yearly fee for Microsoft Office 365, or if you decide to go ahead and just purchase, a new version as it comes out as a downloadable product with a key or a disc, if they even do discs much longer or anymore. I'm thinking you buy Office 10, Office 7, kind of where I'm going. Whereas 365, you just auto update to whatever that version technically is. Now, I don't know if the dictation feature is solely locked to 365. I think they included it in 10 as far as Office goes. I don't know how far back, though, they included that for free or as an in-house suite expectation add-on. I also don't think that Microsoft Office's AI for speech to text is nearly as intuitive as the one that Google provides. I think a lot of this does rely on, and I've mentioned this in a couple of different areas, Google is on so many different smartphones, tablets, different kind of mobile devices. It's built into televisions, and so many people simply yell the words, "Hey Google," kind of like how with Apple products and Siri, you have an AI in there that reaches voices across the globe. Eventually, that AI is going to start training itself to access more combinations of pronunciations for syllables and things of that nature. And you probably hear my phone actually answering me from yelling, "Hey Google," in the background, and it'll probably answer me again here in a moment because I said those words again. And that's kind of my hint. Google likely took all of that information and kerplopped it right into the learning gamification side of their AI for their dictation software add-on, or I wouldn't even call it software, it's definitely an add-on, that is programmed into Google Docs and so on. So essentially, they started with a much larger database than I think Microsoft's did. Microsoft really didn't get as much into the mobile game in the same ways that Google did, and therefore I don't think they have the same level of access through Cortana that Google does through its AI voice capabilities. So that's probably why if I want to dictate anymore, I probably will continue to lean into using Google Docs. The other great thing is I've noticed that I'm able to actually do house chores while dictating some things. For example, I've put dictation into doing some of my lesson plans while I'm folding laundry. I've literally dictated entire sets of outline for Book 4, Bound by Hope and Spirit, just simply because I was able to do dishes with my Bluetooth headset in. Now, mind you, of course, if you are able to dictate into a phone or a mobile device and then go to a computer to revise and edit, I would highly suggest giving that a try for sure. In a world where rapid release is literally the model on which some authors are able to pay their bills every month, it is definitely worth considering going through the dictation method. However, I know what this is going to do to my revision method. Revising anything I have dictated during Camp NaNoWriMo from this past July is going to be an absolute atrocious nightmare. For example, I was not wise and did not pick placeholder names for some of my more difficult to understand character names. Regardless of Microsoft or Google, every time I would put in Neftiri, who is the vampire that is forcibly queen over my whole alliance, and her brother-in-law of sorts, Vovary. Oh my goodness, I really should have made them, like, I kid you not, Nancy and Victor, and then just gone through and used find and replace function and changed it to Neftiri and Vovary. Look at some of these examples on the screen. Just, they're absolutely hilarious. Mind you, I laughed, but I know what editing is going to be like. It's going to take me so much more time in revising, editing, and proofreading to clean up this document. Yes, the three are different. English teacher, writing teacher, and editor here saying they are not the same thing. Where am I going to make up for, to kind of use a speedrunner analogy here, treat drafting book 4 as if it's like level 2 or 3 of a game. Because I saved time there, I know some of the time I saved is going to be eaten up on another level, which is going to be revising most likely. I foresee me spending a lot of the time I saved, not all of it, but a lot of it just tightening up, correcting, misspellings from it mishearing me while it was being trained and things of that nature. And I definitely think what I dictated into Google will need less cleanup than Word. I imagine that the revision process being that it's higher order thinking, I'm going to care way more about making sure the right words are there before I even care about commas and periods. That's editing proofreading, guys and gals. I'm just really paying close attention to making sure that, I didn't miss anything when dictating. So, is it worth it? Yes and no. I will admit dictation is probably not for everybody. It definitely is not going to be used by me on every single project for any single reason all the time. I probably will use it with a combination of typing instead. At the end of the day, you have to understand how any kind of change to your writing process at any point in the process will affect what comes before and what happens after. Cause and effect, ripple effects, for better and for worse included. Was it worth it for me to do this experiment? Yeah, because I basically proved that I can ramp up my writing a little bit more each month than what I originally thought I could handle while also working at least asynchronously full time. Also, it's allowing my body to heal because I'm still able to keep writing while letting these two tools of mine rest, because I think we often forget that these are tools, not just extensions of our bodies. And on that note, thank you for being here, my lovelies. Above all, take care of yourself. I know you're worth it. So writer out. Bye.